The internet did not ease into the day it erupted. What usually begins as a slow trickle of posts and updates instantly transformed into a chaotic wave of speculation, confusion, and non-stop discussion. Within moments, timelines were flooded. Group chats were buzzing, and people everywhere found themselves glued to their screens, trying to make sense of what was unfolding. It felt like something massive had dropped out of nowhere, and no one wanted to miss a single detail. At the center of it all was Remy Ma, a figure no stranger to attention, but rarely at the heart of something this explosive. What made the situation even more shocking was not just her involvement, but who else was being pulled into the storm. This wasn't ordinary celebrity drama and involved people from her closest circle, including longtime connections that fans believed were unbreakable. One name in particular stood out and caught everyone off guard: Fat Joe. The idea that something could be happening within such a tight-knit circle immediately raised eyebrows and fueled intense curiosity. At first, many fans dismissed the situation. Social media is known for exaggeration, and people are used to seeing rumors spiral out of control. The initial reaction was skepticism. People questioned the authenticity of the claims, assuming it was either misinterpreted information or completely fabricated gossip. Comments like, "This can't be real," and "There's no way this is true," flooded posts as users tried to rationalize what they were seeing. However, as the hours passed, the tone began to shift. What started as whispers quickly gained weight as more details surfaced. Posts that had been publicly visible suddenly vanished without explanation. Screenshots, often referred to as receipts, began circulating, adding credibility to what many had hoped was just speculation. Each new piece of information made the situation feel less like a rumor and more like a developing reality. Soon, attention turned toward Papoose, a figure widely respected for his calm demeanor and steady presence. Known for handling situations with composure and rarely engaging in public drama, he was the last person fans expected to be caught in something so intense. Yet, as reports emerged, it became clear that he was deeply affected by what was happening. According to sources, his reaction was far from passive. While he initially tried to maintain control, publicly sharing vague messages and keeping his statements measured, his private response was said to be far more emotional. There were reports of intense conversations, heated phone calls, and a level of distress that contrasted sharply with his usual composed image. People close to him claimed he was visibly shaken, struggling to process how events had escalated so quickly. What began as a personal issue soon grew into something much larger. The narrative shifted from relationship tension to something far more serious as rumors of legal action began to circulate. Suddenly, the conversation wasn't just about emotions or betrayal, it was about family, responsibility, and potential custody decisions involving children. This development added a heavy layer of seriousness to the situation, causing fans to reevaluate everything they thought they understood. Social media became a battleground of opinions. Users quickly divided into camps, with some expressing sympathy for Papoose and others defending Remy Ma's independence and right to make her own choices. Every post, every caption, and every deleted story became a subject of analysis. People searched for hidden meanings, dissected timelines, and tried to connect dots that may or may not have existed. The tension reportedly reached a peak during a private confrontation between Papoose and Remy Ma. While details remain unconfirmed, insiders suggested that emotions ran high. What may have started as a conversation about boundaries and communication allegedly turned into a heated exchange filled with accusations, defensive responses, and raw emotion. Those present were said to have intervened, preventing the situation from escalating further. Meanwhile, the online world continued to amplify every development. Fans created memes, reaction videos, and detailed breakdowns of the situation. Influencers and commentators joined the conversation, offering their own interpretations and predictions. Some even speculated that there could be a larger strategy behind everything, hinting at possible publicity angles or future announcements. As the day went on, reports suggested that Papoose had begun thinking more strategically. Instead of reacting purely emotionally, he was allegedly consulting with close friends and legal advisors. His focus, according to sources, had shifted toward ensuring stability and protection for his children. This move further reinforced the seriousness of the situation, turning what had started as gossip into a potential legal and family matter. At the same time, Remy Ma's public appearances and social media activity continued to fuel speculation. She was reportedly seen spending time with Fat Joe, which only intensified discussions about the nature of their relationship. Fans scrutinized every photo and interaction, trying to determine whether something had changed or if the situation was being misunderstood. Behind the scenes, friends and family members were also said to be taking sides. Some supported Papoose, encouraging him to stand firm and prioritize his family. Others backed Remy Ma, urging her to live freely while maintaining open communication. This division created an emotionally charged environment where even private conversations carried the risk of becoming public narratives as the situation evolved. Subtle online behavior played a significant role in shaping public perception. A liked comment, a deleted post, or a cryptic quote could instantly spark widespread discussion. Online communities transformed into investigative spaces, with users piecing together timelines and forming theories based on limited information. The involvement of potential legal action added another layer of complexity. Rumors that Papoose might pursue custody arrangements shifted the focus entirely. It was no longer just about personal feelings, it was about long-term consequences and the well-being of a family navigating a highly public situation. Fans debated whether his actions were protective or reactive, further dividing opinions. Meanwhile, Remy Ma reportedly attempted to manage the situation from her side. Sources suggested that she reached out privately in an effort to reduce tension, but the emotional intensity made resolution difficult. Any attempts at reconciliation were said to have stalled, leaving both sides in a state of uncertainty. Amid all of this, Fat Joe's role became increasingly intriguing. Reports indicated that he may have taken a step back, choosing to avoid direct involvement in the public narrative. However, there were also claims that he reached out privately to both parties, encouraging calm and discretion. This approach added another layer of mystery, as fans debated whether he was remaining neutral or playing a more strategic role behind the scenes. By the end of the day, the situation had reached a fever pitch. Emotions were high, opinions were divided, and the story showed no signs of slowing down. What started as a few scattered rumors had grown into a full-scale saga involving love, loyalty, family, and public perception. As the days continued, the intensity did not fade. Instead, it deepened. Allegations of leaked conversations, shared messages, and insider accounts kept the story alive. Each new detail, whether confirmed or not, added fuel to the fire. Fans remained deeply invested, treating every update as a crucial piece of a larger puzzle. Inside the situation, emotions were reportedly at their peak. Papoose was said to be balancing multiple feelings at once: hurt, frustration, protectiveness, and disbelief. One insider described it as a turning point, emphasizing that the issue had moved beyond personal conflict and into something that could impact legacy and family structure. The possibility of legal proceedings continued to dominate discussions. Fans speculated about court outcomes, custody arrangements, and long-term consequences. This shift turned the narrative into something much heavier than typical celebrity drama, highlighting the real-life implications behind the headlines. At the same time, Remy Ma appeared determined to maintain her path. Balancing public scrutiny with personal decisions, she faced constant judgment from both supporters and critics. Her actions, whether intentional or not, continued to shape the narrative and keep the public engaged. Social media remained the driving force behind the story's momentum. Platforms became stages where every move was amplified and analyzed. The line between fact and speculation blurred, creating an environment where perception often carried as much weight as reality. Within the family and social circles, the divide persisted. Loyalty, love, and individual choices collided, creating an atmosphere filled with tension and uncertainty. Each side believed in their perspective, making resolution increasingly complex. As everything unfolded, one question lingered above all others: what happens next? Would the situation escalate into a full legal battle? Would relationships be clarified publicly? Or was there an unseen aspect of the story yet to emerge? What began as quiet whispers had transformed into one of the most talked about situations in recent memory. The combination of personal stakes, public attention, and emotional depth created a narrative that was impossible to ignore.